Who are the representatives who want to postpone the end of the 6 days on, 1 day off work schedule to 2036, huh? 2036. I don't even know if I'll be alive by then. God willing, may we all be alive if God wants. But 2036, you guys are crazy. You guys are out of your minds. Well, then I'll show you. The proposal is from Sergio Tura. It's more like Sergio gets beaten up. That's right, Sergio Tura from the PP of Rio Grande do Sul. And all the Bolsonaro supporters here, look, they all signed his document. Here it is. Look, amendment filed by Sergio Tura and 175 other deputies to reduce working hours for 10 years and provide compensations to employers, parliamentarians, and resources from the people according to popular pressure. That's why I'm asking you now, hit the like button and central, put the link so people can share it. There are people backing down because of social media. One of them is the federal deputy Luca Khalil, Dr. Khalil, a Bolsonaro-supporting doctor from Goiás. He went ahead and signed this list right here, see? People went wild on social media. It's the end of the 6 scale, 6x1. Yeah, I don't know what. He just posted on his social media that he took his name off the list. So end the 6x1 schedule now. Enough with the nonsense. This is just mockery. And they still want to increase the 48-hour shift to 50 or even 52 hours. They want to take away your FGTS, my dear. They want to take away your Social Security contributions, my dear. You won't have any guarantees. You won't be able to retire or have a survivor's pension. Who? This group right here. Look. While you like, comment, and share, I want you to write, end the 6x1 schedule, share the live stream, and like it. I will read everyone's name here. And you're not supposed to leave me. You all keep asking Andrea Gonçalves, put the name up, Andrea Gonçalves, put the name up. Then I put the name up, and then you leave the live stream. You're going to stay here with me. I'm going to go through, I'm not going to say the name, I'm not going to read everyone's name because it's too many, but I'll go through gradually. When it's someone from your state, click on the live stream, pause it, and write down the crook's name. Who wants you to work? Right. 52 hours a week. Let's go to the list. Keep writing, keep talking, keep commenting. Look at this list. 176 representatives. I'll make it bigger so you can see it better. I'll scroll through it slowly. When it gets to the representative from your state, you stop and see the face of the crook. Representatives who signed in favor of the amendment that increases your work week to 52 hours, you're going to work even more. Look here, and it's only in 2036 that the end of the 6 days on, 1 day off schedule will take effect. Look here slowly so you can see. Look over there. Look, oh my father. All good. Look here, this one, look, Dr. Zacharias Khalil. He says he's going to take his name off this list here. Look, after the mess on social media. Look here. Everything is signed. Everyone signed for you to work 52 hours a week. The end of the 6x1 schedule, I only know from 2036 on. For you to have your FGTS reduced by half. So you won't have guaranteed retirement or pension with the removal of the Social Security contribution. Here, look at this. It's all here. Look, it's Zé Trovão. I'm seeing Zé Trovão, Biaquiches. It's more of the same and very little. It's the same crowd as always, right? Gustavo Gaia. Oh my God. Jesus. Carlos Jordi. Look here. All of them. Magna Mofato from Goiás. What a shame. Sergeant Gonçalves, everything. The vast majority are Bolsonaro supporters. Wow. It's a shame, guys. Mercy, I want to know. Nicola Ferreira had to be there. There's no other way, right? Rafaela. Rosangela Moro. Sergio Moro's wife. Who has given in to the pressure? Some have already pulled their signatures. See here, this one has withdrawn for now. But more people will withdraw their signatures. Pressure from what, Andre? From Andrea Gonçalves on social media. That's why I made a point of bringing it up. Here's the thing. If social media doesn't work, we'll have to take to the streets. Yeah. Because what they did was absurd. It's an amendment where all of them signed to add to the original project to the PEC, which is the proposed amendment to the Constitution that ends the 6-day work schedule. According to them, they stated that it will only take effect starting in 2036. They said that as a counterpart, your FGTS will be reduced by half. They said that the employer will not be required to pay towards your Social Security contribution. Who is going to pay? If the INSS doesn't pay, it's over. It's already chaos, and if they don't pay, it's done. Soon, even your retirement or pension won't be guaranteed. And they also said that you can work a 52-hour week. The maximum today is 48. They want to increase it to 52. Does that make any sense? And Flavio supports this, okay? Just to make it clear for you, Flavio supports this. The PL, the entire PL caucus is in favor of this. What the hell is this? What is this? You're trying to do something to make things better so that person can have a little bit of life to improve their work. Did you understand? Without reducing the size and all that stuff, the way they're doing it here, it's a trap, you know? It destroys everything. Did you see everyone's name? That's right. You pause it there. When you see someone from your state, you pause and check who is from your state. Write it down. Why write it down? You'll never vote for someone like that again. And also, if you can, you even ask, look, this one is against the workers. Voted against the workers. This one, because it's a shame. And there has to be pressure on social media. Pressure is necessary because some people are backing down, like Dr. Khalil, whom I just mentioned to you from Goiás. He just announced on social media he's removing his name from the list. He's going to remove his name from the amendment because it's a mockery. This situation is a shame. And let's see what happens. Soon Ai's face will be asking for your vote. Yeah, she'll be asking for your vote soon. No, I support workers. I support working women. Crooks. So remember this situation and place it there. End of the 6x1 work schedule now. And Hugo Mota said it will be approved next week. We have to keep an eye on what's going to be approved because otherwise it will be a trap. And here's the thing. Since Hugo Mota preferred to move forward with the PEC, what does that mean? That if it is approved, there is no sanction or veto from the President of the Republic. And they've already done that. That's exactly what it was for. Because if it were a bill, Lula could veto it later on. But since it's a constitutional amendment proposal, Lula can't veto it. Nor does he sanction it either. It goes straight to promulgation by the National Congress Board by Davi Alcolumbre. Obviously, there will be direct actions of unconstitutionality, which is the Supreme Federal Court being called upon to determine whether it is constitutional or not. And I can already tell you that it's an entrenched clause. A fundamental right, which is in Article 5, is an entrenched clause. And it cannot be changed to reduce rights. It can only be changed to increase the rights and guarantees of workers. So if there is this regression from 48 to 52, it is a setback. The Supreme Federal Court can overturn it. But here's the thing. If this gets approved next week, people will take to the streets. It's the workers out on the streets. You have to have the right to at least rest for 2 days a week without a reduction in working hours. That's the minimum. Many countries are already adopting 4 for 3. And the federal deputies, those ones who put themselves in this laziness against you, they have a 3 for 4 schedule. They are required to clock in. And look, it's all together there, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The rest, no one checks if they're working or not. So deputies who earn, the deputies and senators earn almost 50,000 reais just for their salary. I'm only talking about their salary. I'm not even mentioning the parliamentary allowance. I'm not even talking about the office budget. I'm not even talking about fuel allowance, clothing allowance, housing allowance, travel allowance, or any kind of allowance you can imagine. They earn 50,000 raised to work 3 days a week. They have the nerve to take a stand against you, who often earns minimum wage and works almost every day, even on Sundays. It's a mockery. It's a shame. So stay alert. If it's approved under these terms next week, everyone will be out on the streets and we'll be confronting them. And we have to put these names on social media so people know who these representatives are. They can't be reelected. The people have to show their strength. Now is the time. It's at the ballot box. The Brazilian people are the majority. The workers are the majority of the population. We're 80% of the population. The poorest, poor people. Less than 20% are middle class. And 1% is the barons and elite of this country. So the people, the workers, have enormous power when it comes to choosing their representatives. They just need to learn how to choose. Otherwise, before you know it, you'll be letting the fox into your own chicken coop. So change your life and get out of that roost from the far-right Bolsonarism. And if it could, it would turn back the clock. And it would come back with the master's whip in hand to lash you on the back. That's the truth. So let's wake up and let's get involved and let's be together. And I'm watching. Whatever happens there, whatever comes from there, I'll let you all know. And that's the setup for today. We have to pay very close attention to all of this, okay? Meanwhile, look here. End of the 6 days on, 1 day off schedule. The report must be presented next Monday. The transition still needs to be settled, said Hugo Mota. He should approve the main text and then the amendments or not. And we have to keep an eye on that. And speaking of Flávio Bolsonaro, he should lose his seat, right, guys? Or at least he should go to the Ethics Council after this discovery. Isn't that right? It is. And that's what Senator Simone Tebet said. Look, in the Bolsonaro case, Simone Tebet demands ethics action against Flávio Bolsonaro. She says the Ethics Council of the Federal Chamber of Deputies should be called in for Flávio Bolsonaro. Because here's the thing, let me say something. Oh, Andrea, but there's no case yet. Go, go, go. Let me tell you something. The Ethics Council isn't about ordinary crimes as such. Crime of responsibility, lack of decorum, violation of the principle of morality. What morals does Flávio Bolsonaro have today to be a senator of the Republic? A guy who lies like this and goes to the thief's house and demands money from the thief. What morals does Flávio Bolsonaro have to be a senator of the Republic and live off the government, earning 50,000 raise of public money every month as a salary? What morals does he have? None. That's it. That's what it's for. That's why it's called the Council of Ethics and Parliamentary Decorum. Flávio today has neither ethics nor decorum and violated administrative morality, which results in what? The termination of his mandate. But they'll just cover for him, right? Why cover for him? There must be others in the same situation, right? Hugo Mota? There must be more people in the same situation. Isn't that right, Davi Alcolombre? So they're going to cover for him because if he goes down, I go down too. That must be it. Look at what Simone Tebet said here about this situation. Let me see if I put her video here. I found it very constructive and interesting and necessary, actually. Take a look here. I personally support
that Senator Flávio Bolsonaro should immediately go to the Ethics Committee of the Federal Senate. I'm talking about a senator of the Republic, so that it can be investigated there promptly. There are serious indications of lying because he said no and then he said yes. There are serious indications of taking funds or part of the funds or requesting funds for groups that have been reported for a long time, so you can't say you didn't know. There are indications of possible money laundering there because I've never seen such a huge amount to make a movie. Not even the most award-winning film in Brazil came close to that. It used 3 times fewer resources than that. This is a very serious matter. From someone who is showing up in the polls as a potential future president of the Republic, who are we going to hand this country over to? So, the Ethics Committee urgently needs to be called upon so that he, through due legal process there in the ethics committee.
The video's volume is low, isn't it, everyone? But play it anyway so we can help. Flávio must be removed now, isn't it? Especially because Flávio showed himself to be what? A loyal friend of criminals. He said, hey, my brother, you know, right? Our friendship, right? Our talk, my dear friend. He's a friend to criminals. Isn't it? That's actually old, right? But a situation like this had never come out before, and this is just the beginning. More things will come out, right? Bulos talked about this here. Look, loyal friend of criminals. Who? Flávio Bolsonaro. These ties go way back.
They can say what they want about Flávio Bolsonaro, but no one can deny he's loyal to his friends, or rather his little buddies. Vorcaro had been arrested.
Quite a scandal.
On the crime pages. Then he was released, put under house arrest with an ankle monitor. The day after he was put under house arrest, who visits him? He had to start using electronic monitoring. He couldn't leave the city of São Paulo. Yes, I did go to meet him, and he was so eager to visit his friend that he even asked the Senate for money to buy a ticket to go to São Paulo. That loyalty wasn't just in this case, no, it's been around for a long time. Do you remember that Adriano da Nóbrega? He was a militia member, head of a murder-for-hire ring, a group of professional killers. He was in jail, and Flávio Bolsonaro went to give him an award inside the prison. A former cellmate of Adriano da Nóbrega even said that Flávio used to visit him there quite often, and there's more. Flávio didn't leave him hanging. He put his mother and wife as employees in his office at the Legislative Assembly of Rio de Janeiro. Bolsonarism loves to say that the only good criminal is a dead criminal. But Flávio puts his loyalty first, not for him. The only good criminal is one who's like a brother to you. You can say anything about Flávio Bolsonaro, but no one can deny he's loyal, especially to his friends, or more accurately, his brothers. Vorcaro had been arrested. It was a whole scandal all over the crime pages.
Apparently, a good criminal is a criminal who's your friend. That's the situation. A good criminal is a criminal who's your friend. If they're your friend, it's fine. Forget shooting, fighting, and bombs. The only good criminal is a dead one. Especially if that friend pays $1 million, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, $10 million, $20 million, $30 million, $40 million, $50 million, $60 million. Then he's a really good friend, the kind you send voice messages to, hugs, a bosom friend. Then you go visit his house, right? Flávio Bolsonaro and all that stuff. I think those guys had a blast. When they saw all those millions with Daniel Vorcaro eager to corrupt and buy people, politicians, Flávio went there. I'm here. I'm yours. I'm your bosom friend. How much does it cost? How much does it cost? Then he said, how much does it cost? 134. And Vorcaro paid more than 60 million of that bill. And all hell is breaking loose. Shall we see, Tico? Meanwhile, speaking of friends, look here. Speaking of friends, look at Flávio's friend. Federal police detects a transfer of 14 million from a fund linked to Rifite to a company belonging to the family of Ciro Nogueira, Bolsonaro's former minister. And Flávio Bolsonaro's dream candidate, he himself has already said that, right? So what happens? The federal police investigation into the tax evasion and corruption scheme involving Rifite, a conglomerate in the fuel sector controlled by Ricardo Magro, detected a payment of 12.14.2 million from funds linked to the group to a company belonging to Senator Ciro Nogueira's family, which even carries the parliamentarian's name. Can you believe it, or do you want more? The federal police found out this is a fact. The criminal organization that was operating in Rio de Janeiro from Flávio Bolsonaro's political group, which includes the governor of Rio de Janeiro. This Magro guy, already on Interpol's red list, is in the United States, and the police want to arrest him, and so on. This one here received more than 14 million from this criminal organization. That's why I told you all on the 8:30 live stream, and I'm going to repeat it. For me, it's all part of the same criminal group with connections in other words, I'll face it, he's the mastermind behind everything together with the Bolsonaro family. With connections in the Bolsonarist group from Rio de Janeiro, which is Flávio Bolsonaro's political group. In the political group of the Federal District of Brasilia, with Ibanez Rocha, which is Flávio Bolsonaro's political group, and also in São Paulo, with the same political group as the Bolsonaro family, Tarcísio de Freitas, and the mayor of São Paulo, Ricardo Nunes. Notably with the relationship, whether it's Tarcísio, who received 2 million, or Vovor Caro, and the relationships that, by all indications, benefited the privatizations in São Paulo, the group of Daniel Vovor Caro, as well as Ricardo Nunes, the mayor of São Paulo, who benefited the company of Renata, of Karina, who owns the production company of Bolsonaro's film, in a series of situations. So it's the same political group as the Bolsonaro family in São Paulo. Do you understand, my dear, or is all of this just a coincidence? No, to me, it's the same criminal organization whose core is Vorcaro and the family. Bolsonaro, with connections mainly in Rio de Janeiro with the political group there of Claudio Castro, former governor from Flávio Bolsonaro's political group. Federal District with the coordinator governor, former governor of the Federal District, Ibanez Rocha, from the Bolsonaro family's political group, and in São Paulo. In the same way, from the political group of Tarcísio and Ricardo Nunes, which is the same political group as the Bolsonaro family, what else is there? The federal police are finding the evidence for all these situations. And so it can't be a coincidence, guys. You know, this is a consequence. There's no way. Meanwhile, Mendonça orders the seizure of Ciro Nogueira's aircraft worth 10 million. The measure is part of the 5th phase of Operation Compliance Zero, launched by the federal police on May 7, which investigates suspicions of corruption, money laundering, and crimes against the financial system involving the bank, Daniel Vorcaro, and the senator. The same decision ordered the freezing of assets and funds totaling more than 18, almost 19 million reais. And, according to the federal police investigations, former Senator Ciro Nogueira, who was also Bolsonaro's former chief of staff, received a monthly allowance of 300 to 500,000 reais to carry out the entire corruption scheme there, together with Banco Master owned by Daniel Vorcaro, a former aide of Ciro Nogueira, who received 1.3 million from Refit, was a defense witness for Bolsonaro in the coup trial. The former number 2 of Ciro Nogueira in Bolsonaro's chief of staff office, Jonatas Assunção, became the ticking time bomb placed in the anteroom of Flávio Bolsonaro's office, who should also be caught by the federal police investigations in the Refit Group scandal of Ricardo Magro. This advisor of Ciro Nogueira, he could be the link to this criminal organization, which to me is the same one, this branch of coordination, especially with Flávio Bolsonaro. Okay, why? Because he's an ally of the family. Bolsonaro, in fact, was a defense witness in the case against Bolsonaro in the federal Supreme Court for the crimes of attempted coup d'etat, for which Bolsonaro was sentenced to 27 years and 3 months in prison. It's all Bolsonarists, right, guys? And they're all connected to whom? Coincidence. The Bolsonaro family. Obviously, that's not a coincidence, right? That's a consequence. Let's see here, Congressman Rogerio Correa speaking Tico. Let's see here. Smash the like button, my handsome and my beautiful.
Hair position.
It's not this one, no. The boy is running away from the reporters over there at the National Congress. It's this one.
From Dark Horse already. I'm collecting the signatures. We already have more than 50. We need 171 signatures. But with what happened today, you saw it. This production company has never made a movie, guys. Imagine Eduardo Bolsonaro managing the fund's money. Now it's been handed over to the lawyer. And Flávio Bolsonaro asked for 143 million for Orcaro. And he said they've already spent 65 million, all resources stolen in Brazil, through Banco Master to launder money. It's not a movie, it's laundering. And they still wanted to show this movie on the eve of the elections as disguised propaganda. Look, this joint congressional inquiry is necessary. With today's revelation that this production company has never made a movie and that the main actor is now a washed-up actor in the United States, this movie could never be worth that much. It's clear that it's money laundering by the Bolsonaro family. These people need to face a congressional inquiry committee. We will keep collecting signatures. I've already gathered more than 50. We need 171 signatures. Put it there, Pangare inquiry now. I loved it. I loved it. Pangare inquiry now. Oh,
I loved it. I loved it. Pangare inquiry. Yeah, Pangare inquiry now. Pangare inquiry now. No, no, that was a good one. Put it there. 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 Abato! Sepe. Pangare inquiry now. Pangare inquiry now. That was a good one. I like that one. I liked it. Then Flávio Bolsonaro over there now ran away from the journalists asking him and all that. And then he goes, and I ask, Lulinha, where are you? He doesn't answer the journalists. And Lulinha, where is he? Answer the journalist, Flavito. Oh, Flavio, big allowance. Answer the journalist. You ran away from the journalist. So about your what? Dad, I don't know what that the problem is PT, the problem is Lula, the problem is Lula's son, and so on and so on. If anything about Lula's son is found, I won't show it. But so far, the one who was getting an allowance from Daniel Volcar wasn't Lulinha, Lula's son. It wasn't the former one. The former is Bolsonaro's minister, Círio Nogueira, the one who was asking Daniel Volcar for money, millions. It wasn't Lulinha's son. It wasn't Flávio Bolsonaro who went to Daniel Volcar's house to meet with him. It wasn't Lulinha. It wasn't Flávio Bolsonaro and Flávio Bolsonaro. Running away from the journalists just like the devil runs from the cross and didn't answer anything and kept quiet. And what about Lulinha? And what about Lulinha? Go to hell, Flavinho Flavito. Not Flavinho, it's Flávio Rachadinha. No, not Rachadinha. Rachadinha is in the past. He got promoted. Now it's Flávio Mesadão. Yeah. The Rachadinha, he got promoted. If Rachadinha is in the past, now it's Flávio Mesadão. That's the situation. And like, there's no use trying to make excuses because you can't make excuses for anyone. No, I found this interesting here. Look, check this out. Glauber Braga and the Bolsonaro supporter here.
You talk about Banco Master, but you didn't sign the CPMI of Banco Master, not a single signature. We have 281 signatures, a historic record, and not one signature from your group.
And I want once again to expose the lies of the congressman. He just said that our group didn't sign the CPI of Banco Master. That's a lie. Our group signed it and I signed it. Even before the suspension of the mandate, the request for the CPI was filed by Congressman Rodrigo Orlenberg. Fernanda Melchiona and Heloisa Helena collected signatures for the Banco Master CPI, what I didn't sign and I'm not going to sign at all. It's a CPI requested by you because those who are part of a criminal organization are in no position to investigate anything. If the request comes from those who are not from the PL, which is already being processed, it not only has our signature, but also our enthusiasm.
You talk about Banco Master, but you didn't sign the CPI for Banco Master, not a single signature, while we have two.
The lying people had two lists. They weren't going to sign your list. Jordi is the one who got a visit from the federal police, suspected of being involved in a parliamentary quota embezzlement scheme, where his aides and the aide of Sóstenes Cavalcante, leader of the PL in the National Congress, moved almost 29 million reais. Yes. It was in that operation that they found 470,000 reais hidden in a garbage bag at the house of Socio Escavalcante Bolsonaro, leader of the PL. It was that same operation that also went to the house of Carlos Jordi. What's suspicious is that both of them are involved in these acts of corruption. Then he wants to act like a champion of morality and justice, talking tough and making a scene. A good criminal is a dead criminal, even though very likely he is a criminal and a liar and a liar. Because there were two lists, one from the PL that PT wasn't going to sign at all. Not a single one from PL, but there was another list from Melchiona that everyone signed. Now I want to see Flávio. Flávio signed, right? He signed today. Flávio just signed the list after being pressured now at the session that just happened at the National Congress. So stop lying. And by the way, this is just the beginning. Get ready because this is just the beginning. If you have something to hide, it's going to come out or someone will drag it out and you all do. You can get ready because this is just the beginning and everything is falling apart and collapsing. Ha ha ha. And Flávio Bolsonaro right now is running away from the press at the National Congress because he doesn't want to give an interview. He doesn't want to explain anything. He looks just like Bolsonaro. You know when Bolsonaro used to run from the press and attack the press? Soon, Flávio will start doing the same thing. In fact, he already is. The only thing missing is the attack because he's already running from the press. Why? Because he must. Hit the like button, like, comment, share. At 4:30 p.m., there's a special highlight. If you like it, stay. If you don't, go find your own way and go pick some coconuts in the woods, people.